Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Thursday, November 21st, 2019. I hope everybody is doing well. As you can see, wow, lo and behold, we are overcast once again. So I wanted to show you what I did here before we get into the topic. So here's the fish tank for right now. I moved some of these buckets out of the way and put the fish tank there so it's out of the weather. Covered it with those trays, and I actually put one of the things of like they're not like a porous stone is what they are. They're not super heavy, but there's enough weight there to hold everything down. And then I put the bubble wrap back around it so that it is got some protection. And so when we get to the point where we're building the greenhouse, that's going to go in first because I've talked about, I was talking the other day, I'm not sure it's going to fit through the door. So we're going to put that on the ground first and then build a greenhouse around it and then kind of figure stuff out afterwards where we're going to put it and stuff like that once the greenhouse is built. But it will be put inside right from the very get-go. So that's where that is for right now, okay? So anyway, so let's get into the topic of this video. Mistakes people make beforehand, realistically, if there's a blackout, okay? So we're going to talk about what people don't think about if there's a blackout, all right? So I got myself a little list here. So we're going to talk about, so the first thing we're going to talk about, there's a blackout, and you don't know how long it's going to last. Could be you look at what happened in California, 3-4 days, maybe longer, whatever. Well, the first problem is all your perishable food, like in the refrigerator, is going to go bad in that time period because it needs to be refrigerated, and with no power, you have no way of keeping that stuff cool unless, of course, you live up here in the Northeast and it's wintertime, okay? But we're just going with, a normal time period where there's a power outage. And so then what happens is, now a lot of people have freezers, they got a lot of stuff in the freezers. Well, what happens, obviously, again, things are going to thaw out, they're not going to stay frozen for, a week or 10 days, and you're going to lose all that food in the freezer as well. So having contingency plans for that are really, really important. So what do you need to do? Well, if you can afford it, obviously, one of the things you're going to want to make sure you have is a generator that you could run for whatever period of time a day to, really help that freezer and the refrigerator stay, cold and frozen so that things don't start to de-thaw, okay? So that would be one thing I would suggest. I also would suggest making sure you have plenty of gas on hand for that generator. So, if the power's out and you can't get to the gas station and get to the pumps, then there's no pump that's working because everything is electric. You have gas to work with your generator, okay? So that's something to really think about as well, all right? So here's another thing to think about. How are you going to cook that food? Well, some people have gas lines and some people have electric. Well, if you have an electric stove and those type of things, obviously in a power outage, that is not going to work. So people that have those gas stoves, they're still going to be able to cook, and stuff like that. So they can, coordinate and work together with other people that have gas stoves so that they can also be able to cook and stuff like that. It's working together, it's networking, helping neighbors out and that type of stuff. And I think you're going to find in a lot of short-term disasters that people will really come together and work together to try to help each other out. Now, a long-term disaster with no end in sight, that is a whole different ball game, but that's another video. Okay, so that's important as well. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is water supply. Once the power is down, their taps are not running. You're not going to have water. So making sure you have enough water on hand at all times, having backup water and those type of things are really important. Or knowing where there is a well, a spring, or some other water source that you can have access to so you can get water, because once the power goes out, the pumps stop pumping. Like I said, my first suggestion to anybody, piece of advice to anybody, if there is a power outage, while there's still water in the lines, fill up every container that you possibly can with water until those things, are done, until you can't get any more water out. Because like I said, And I've talked about this before. When a situation happens, you have what you have. And so if you are not prepared for that type of a situation, you're going to be in a lot of trouble in a hurry. And so, like, that power goes out, start filling up containers. That would be my number one advice, and the thing that you should do right away if you possibly can. Okay? Making sure that you have candles, matches, batteries for flashlights. I mean, everybody's got a flashlight, but how many batteries do you have? Do you have backup batteries? Do you have, and again, you don't want to keep those batteries in the flashlight because things will corrode. It will compromise the flashlight, and now the flashlight is not going to be working. So again, planning ahead, making sure you have the different things that you need as far as, like I said, have plenty of candles. Make sure, like I said, that you have lanterns, kerosene lanterns and stuff like that ahead of time so that you have those and you can access them and you can use them for light. All right. The next thing I would suggest, again, and this is all pre-planning ahead of time, so you don't want to get caught with your pants down, and these are kind of tips that are going to help you to be prepared ahead of time. Make sure you have cash on hand. Again, the power goes out, and even if it's for a short period of time, say a week to 10 days, you are not going to have access to that ATM to be able to get money out. So make sure that you keep some cash on hand if you can. Again, here's another thing to think about. If you are insulin dependent, all right, make sure you have some way so that you can keep that insulin cold, because again, that is something that's going to be a life or death situation, because insulin has to be cold. If you don't have that insulin being cold, now you're going to be running into all kinds of other issues, because that's a life or death situation. So if you are an insulin dependent individual that has to have it to survive, you better make sure that you have that game plan on how to make sure that you're going to keep that insulin cold. Okay. The next thing that I would definitely suggest is making sure. Hold on a second. Put it away too soon. Okay. Yeah. The other thing I was, depending on what part of the country you're in, how to stay warm or cool. Okay, if you are in an area, say there's a power outage, let's say Texas, okay, and it's the middle of summer, and the average temperature is over 100 degrees every single day, that can be quite miserable if you don't have air conditioning. So again, think about how your game plan is, how you're going to stay cool. What are you going to do to help stay cool in that type of situation? Again, in the Northeast, if you live in the Northeast, and it's wintertime and that power goes out and you don't have a fireplace or a way to keep warm, have a plan. Figure out how you're going to do it. They have those portable tent stoves, guys. They're not really super expensive. You can put it in a room, you can vent it out of a window, and as long as you have something to burn, you can stay warm in that room. That's what I would suggest. Have something like that. Have other alternative ways, a game plan, how to keep at least one area of your house warm so that you can survive. And like I said, if you have, if you can have a small wood stove, like I said, a tent stove, they sell them all over the place. And it's like, getting those things now. Here comes Lucy running like crazy. I don't know what that was all about. What's up, Luce? What are you doing? So anyway, so again, having that game plan for those type of things ahead of time is really, really important. Okay, so just something to think about. I definitely want to hear your feedback if I'm missing something, if I'm not thinking of something for ahead of time. Oh, hold on, I got to get my pet. Yeah, it's a good boy. It's a good boy. Yeah, it's a good boy. If I'm missing anything, please let me know so that, make sure you say it in the comments. We are getting closer, guys, to 75,000 subscribers. And so we are less than 25 away. I haven't checked today at all yet, so it might even be closer than that. Be prepared. We're going to be doing a giveaway once we hit 75,000 subscribers. So that is definitely something to plan for. Look for that. And again, you have to be subscribed to be able to be eligible for that giveaway. And I think it's going to be fun. I'm really excited to do that for you guys, to show my appreciation for everything that you guys have done as far as supporting the channel and stuff like that. So if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you get all updates, and go from there. But so today so far, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe about 1:30 now. But we've pulled in 2.0 kilowatt hours so far on the day. Yesterday we pulled in, I think only pulled in like 2.4 for the whole day. So it varies, you just never know what you're going to pull in day to day. But so that's, that time of year, overcast, you're not getting as much power as you normally do. So, those are definitely going to be issues that you're going to have. So anyway, so that's what's going on. Like I said, I want to hear your feedback on this video and hear what you guys have to say. I went this morning and I had breakfast with my kids. Somebody had asked in the comments, they had said, have you talked to Eddie since he moved in with his mom? And I replied to the person every day. I talk to my son and I talk to my daughter every single day. So obviously you guys know Heather's in college, and Eddie has moved in with his mom, but I still talk with both of them every single day. It changes nothing. So the three of us got together this morning and we had breakfast. And so I got to spend a little time with my kids, which I absolutely enjoy doing that. And so it's, to me, it's very rewarding. Just to, sit down, see how they're doing, see them in the flesh, if you will, and that's a good thing. So anyway, guys, tomorrow night we will be live streaming at 8 o'clock. And we are going to be talking about the Iran situation, of the uprising within Iran. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow night. So please join us at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for that live stream tomorrow night. And I probably will be doing another video later today. But, just remember, guys, well, this one will go up, and then look for another one later. I probably will throw a second one up later. Remember, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel, okay? Remember, guys, STD as well. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is you. Nobody else can do it, okay? I hope everybody's having a great day. The temperature, they were saying we're going to hit 48 today. It's pretty mild. I'm going to turn this around really quickly so you can see a lot of the snow is now gone, which is great. So, like I said, I got to get this dirt in here and get this next part of the project going. So I will talk to you all later. Have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for